Hello, I'm Deb Keyes with Stampin' on the Hill. Welcome. I am highlighting the Take Your Pick tool today. So if you don't have one, I'm hoping that by watching today's short little video, I will maybe change your mind. You might decide you need to have one. So let's jump down to it. I have here the Take Your Pick tool. This is how it comes in the box. Let's open it up here. You've got little instruction, comes in all the languages. That aside here. So this is what you get. You get the handle, and it comes with the putty end, and it comes with one other attachment already in it. And this attachment has a cover on it because this piercing end is pretty pokey. So let's start from the beginning here. You get the putty end, so you get two of these. There's a lid on this too. And so how you use this is you twist it just a little bit, and then the putty will come out. So right now I have it, there's enough putty on here right now, and it takes a while to come out, so give it a minute, okay? Especially in the colder weather. It's freezing here, but especially in colder weather, it's going to take it a little bit. It's not going to be instantaneous, so don't get frustrated with this. But you'll give it just a little bit of a twist and then let it set for a minute. So the other tip that I have about the putty end here is to make sure when you store this, you store it flat or store it upright so the putty is up, so it doesn't accidentally start oozing and oozing and oozing all the way down. Let me show you a minute. We're going to use this putty end. You can pick up all kinds of things, but my favorite thing to do with this right now, I've got some gems here. These are flat, and they may even be retired at this point. These are neutral adhesive backed sequins. But so what I'm going to do with my putty end is I'm going to push it down, hold it, and slide it away. And then it's going to pick that up with my glue already on the bottom. So these are self-adhesive. Okay, and I have a card here that I had previously done that didn't have any fun stuff on it. So we'll add that there. And then I can pick up another one. Let's pick up a smaller one and add that here. And then we'll just do one more. I like to do threes. And let's add this one here. So that's cute. All right, so that's how you can use it for this. You can also use it to pick up small pieces. Like, I'm trying to think of a good example, but sometimes when you're using like dies and there's little itty bitty pieces like holly berries, for instance, you know, and then they're all over your desk, you can just use this to pick them up, and you can add your little dot of glue to the end of it and then set it down. So many uses for this. So you get, when you buy the tool, you'll get two putties. There are also refills available, so you can order a box of just the putty refills and you get two more of those. Okay, so then this end, this is the piercing end. So clearly you can use this for piercing. You can additionally purchase the piercing mat. It comes separately, but so that, you know, for paper piercing or whatever, this paper piercing kind of comes in and goes out of style, but it's great for if you have a pattern and you can just pierce around the edges and it makes it look like stitching kind of. All right, so then you give this a little bit of a twist to unlock it. It shows you right here, a lock and an unlock. And then you pull this out, you can flip it around, and then you have, I never tried to see if this fits onto here. It doesn't really. So then you have a spatula, and the spatula has many uses too. So you can use both of these ends, the piercing end and the spatula end. You can use those to pick up your gems. Some people do, you know, where you just slide it under there and then set it down that way. Same with the pokey end. I call it the pokey end. It's a piercing end. But anyway, I can't say that I use the spatula end very much, but it also, you could use it with some like paste, some heavier, if you're into a little bit more three-dimensional. I'll have another video about how to use paste, and maybe we'll use this spatula end. So anyway, let me put the cap back on this one, and then I'll show you too. You also get a stylus end. So you have a small stylus and a large stylus. Now, what can you do with this? Well, you can, let me put it in here first. You can use this for scoring. So let me grab just a scratch piece of paper here. I have this. So if you had maybe a ruler, okay, let's grab a ruler. If you didn't have a trimmer, because I have a scoring blade on my trimmer, so I usually score with my trimmer, but you could definitely use this on a soft, squishy surface and do, well, now I went too hard, but you can definitely score in here. And what else? What else can you do? Mostly scoring, but anything else that you would use a stylus for, you can use. And so if there's a big end and a small end, I don't typically use that one. I keep this one in all the time because I use the piercing end the most. I also use the piercing end for poking out my residual stuff in the dies that, you know, after you die cut something and you got all those little things. And in the back of the die, there's all those little holes. So you can use the piercing end to start poking stuff out of the back of your die, so it'll release your paper. Okay. Also, okay, so in addition to that's what you get in the box for the tool. So lots of uses for that tool. Additionally, I have two handles, but so additionally, you can buy the brush attachment. The brush attachment, and it just screws in to the same end of that the putty end was in. Okay, so this is a screw in type of an end. So you get this brush. This is also good for, you know, running across your dies to release the paper from the die. And it comes with two of these foam pieces. This is pretty thick. And the way you use it is you set your die on there and you just go like this, and it helps to release, because the brush gets in all those little holes that I just mentioned were in the back of your die. So it'll release the paper using that. So that's an option, like a second additional option to use for your handle. And then there's also another option, and I don't have this option yet, but it's called the crafter tip. Let me go back here a minute. The crafter tip has a hobby blade, so kind of like your X-Acto knife. So it's got a hobby blade. It's got a double-ended pick, so it's got almost like another piercing tool with that one on one end, and on the other end, it's got that kind of hook that a lot of people use for weeding if you're cutting vinyl out, and then you have to weed your little scrap pieces and stuff out of the vinyl. That's good for that. And then it also has a rotary perforating wheel. So you would run it this way and it would make like a perforation. You would run it against like a ruler or something if you wanted to do. I've seen where people, excuse me, take a card and they make the card and then they perforate a part of it, and then the recipient can tear that thing off and use it as like a bookmark or a ticket or something like that. So the crafter tips package comes with all three of those options. So I hope you learned something and enjoyed yourself today. I want to make sure that in order for you to get all of the current up-to-date information, that you are a subscriber to my newsletter. I will put it in the comments, but I'm not sure. On Facebook, you can subscribe to my newsletter by going to the Contact Us button at the top of the page, and that'll take you right to a link that you can put your information in to subscribe. And if you're on YouTube, watching me on YouTube or TikTok or Instagram or something like that, you can also check the description. I'll put a link for the subscription button in the description of the link, or a link in the description of the video. So until next time, thanks for watching. Really?